Okay, I know that Riot released a new Lucian story, and that they released a lot of new teasers, including the fact that Senna might be the next champion. But don't worry, we will make one more video before the 15th anniversary. Hello there! No, don't worry, I am no Joe Raft, the voice actor of Wheezy the Toy. I am still myself. I just got sick, so I'll sound like a B-movie villain. Also, that is the reason why this is my first video below 10 minutes in over 2 years. Anyway, since the 10th anniversary celebrations are coming, there is no point in doing an episode of Rift News. Instead, we need to release a filler video, so we can have fun with whatever Riot announces later. This gives me the chance to cover a topic I didn't have the time to look at before, and that is the secret stories of the lesser known skin lines. Occasionally, when Riot releases a hyped up skin, they will also give them some story, and in the most hyped up cases, the skins may be featured on Universe with their own official alternative universe story. Among these big featured universes we have High Noon, Star Guardian, Odyssey, and believe it or not, KDA. These universes are already well established, but just in case you don't know what these universes are about, and because it will serve this video later, I will sum them up for you. High Noon is a universe that takes place in the Wild West, but instead of sheriffs hunting the outlaws, in High Noon we have sheriffs hunting demons. And when I say demons, I mean devils from hell. Some of these demon hunters are partially touched by the devil, that's why Lucian looks like a half-demon, and Darius has his hand on fire. Star Guardian is probably the most well-known universe. We've covered this universe countless times before, so in short, Star Guardian is based on the old Sailor Moon-like animes, where you have chosen superheroes fighting for the greater good of the universe, while trying to live normal lives as well. Odyssey is an awesome universe where a team of space junkies go on adventures under the command of Captain Yasuo. I got sad when we learned that Odyssey won't get a game mode this year, because this universe is connected to Darkstar, and the storyline of Odyssey revolves around the mystery of how did Ras travel across the different universes to get here. I was hoping this mystery would get solved this year. And the last of the big universes is KDA. Honestly, it is just a universe where a group of people start a band that goes viral. That's it. These were some of the biggest alternative universes Riot has, but we should also mention Darkstar, Blood Moon or Project, all of which also have their own expensive stories. But enough about all the things we know. Finally, let me show you some of the cool alternative universes which you probably don't even know have their own story. The first one I want to talk about is Zombies vs Slayers. This little universe originally started with Pantheon, Jinx and Nunu, and Willump, with Zombie Rise and Brand being added in later. This entire universe is about, you guessed it, zombie apocalypse. But Riot actually cared enough about this small universe that they gave it its own twists and turns. For example, Zombie Brand explains what happened to this universe. Before the zombie outbreak, he was a military scientist, responsible for developing a powerful virus inside a government base. This may remind you of something. But while he was in the middle of his research, the government cut his funding, and so he was forced to test the mutagen on himself. This is how the virus spread. Nunu and Willem were among the virus's casualties. The story says that they were just friends, and nobody knows who they were before the outbreak. But what we do know is that Willem was transformed into a giant parasitic time bomb, with enough virus in him to infect every living survivor 5 times over. That's one of the reasons why his ultimate lets him spread the virus. Zombie Rise in this universe stayed loyal to his original lore. Rise traveled around the world in order to find a cure for this virus. And over time, as he was on a quest to save the world, the virus left marks on him, and later it overwhelmed him. Zombie Slayer Pantheon and Jinx are one of the few survivors in this universe. They both worked as car mechanics in the same auto body shop. And since Jinx was a little bit on the crazy side, Pantheon wanted to swap careers. But before he did, zombies started marching into the streets. And so they used whatever they could find in their workshop to defend themselves. Another universe I need to mention is Super Galaxy. In this universe, Rumble founded the Super Galaxy Defense Force, as a part of the Super Galaxy Academy. All the members of the Super Galaxy team have the ability to control a mech. Rumble has his suit. Annie can summon a mechanical bear. When Nar enrages, he actually just hops into his mech suit, just like Shyvana or Nidalee when they transform. Then there is Lamb, who can control Mecha Wolf, and Fizz, who can control a gigantic mechanical shark. Of course, all of these robots would be for nothing if there was no enemy, and that enemy is Super Galaxy Elise. Just like Samus can somehow cram her body into a ball, Elise can shape her body into a mechanical arachnoid. But instead of defending their galaxy, Elise realized the power she holds. And so, she sees the galaxy as a realm she could rule as an immortal Spider Queen. Next we have Silver Age, which we could just call the superhero skin line. This story has the typical story of a Marvel universe, which might be on purpose, despite the fact that there are a lot of DC references. For example, there's no need to even mention Augmented Singed, who came up with a formula that can transform anyone into a superhuman criminal. Also, the full name of Singed here is revealed to be Dr. Peter Singed. So of course the criminals who accepted Singed's formula were an investment banker called Donald D. Darius, Tryndamere, who became Singed's personal guard, and Warwick, who didn't exactly accept the formula willingly. Then, in another obvious reference, we have Cryocore Brand, who was also experimented on. And the last villain here is superb villain Vygar, who doesn't have any special powers. He just looks evil and he plans to overtake the city. Among the heroes on the other side, we have Super Kennen, whom, interestingly enough, is a superhero, despite the skin being just a toy figure of the superhero. Then there is Super Teemo, who's using special poison so he never kills anyone. It only paralyzes the villain so they can be captured. Then we have Infiltrator Irelia, who's your typical evil but good character, because even though she is responsible for heists, she is not on the evil side. And surprisingly, the last hero here is Phoenix Quinn. Yes, this skin is actually a superhero, and her special ability is that she's on fire. Next we have the very simple Dark Omen universe. This one tells the story of Kael, who was crowned the Inquisitor Queen that would protect humanity against the darkness. But when the darkness approached, in the shape of Nocturne, the queen got tempted by the dark powers, and eventually she let darkness into the world, which started a Bloodborne-like age. Singed is a mad scientist who knows of the legend of the Inquisitor Queen, because he saw visions in his dreams. And despite him wearing a Plague Doctor mask, he is not here to save people. In fact, he's trying to figure out how to corrupt the queen faster. Lysandra was a human ruler of a city who also got tempted by the dark powers. Yorick is known as the Undertaker here, and he's just getting rid of all the fallen killed by the shadows. And finally, Grey Warwick is a creation of Lysandra, the Blade Queen. In exchange for his loyalty, Lysandra took one of her moonlight blades, and she stabbed it into Warwick's heart. Hence why this skin has a blade stuck in him. Next, I quickly want to talk about the Infernal Universe. But because there is a lot of champions here, let me pick the more interesting ones. The story here goes that a group of mages wanted to summon the Ashen Lord to control his infernal power. But the mages didn't realize that the Ashen Lord was actually the god of fire and ruin. And so, this god, who is actually Aurelian, summoned his infernal armies upon their world to punish the mages. Among these infernal soldiers there is Nasus, who is one of the greater loyal infernals. Zerath, who is actually trying to ascend through the ranks to become the next Ashen Lord. Mordekaiser, who is an infernal general. Or even Malphite, who was finally freed after the mountains cracked open when the Ashen Lord rose. Interestingly enough, Kindred are another infernal god. The mages tried to summon them next to deal with the Ashen Lord, but they didn't know that Kindred are the gods of destruction and rebirth. So they can fix the situation through rebirth. They just need to destroy everything first. And the last universe I wanted to show you is High Society. Here we have the stories of the rich and the powerful. For example, Nar is a successful businessman with groundbreaking research in economy and linguistics. And he is so successful that his investors favor him purely for his charm. Archduke Nasus is an accomplished statesman, painter and composer. They told him that an old dog can't learn new tricks, but look at him now. Aristocrat Vane is a famous monster hunter, who got wealthy from all the bounties. She is still monster hunting to this day, only her weapons are now made of pure gold. Vladimir is a great dancer who can steal everyone's heart. Literally. And the last one is Cho'Gath, who eats people after he offers them tea. Look, it's called High Society. Neither of us know what rich companies do during breaks, but I still prefer this to this. Hey, did you know that we have social media and Twitch where we talk about other league facts and stories? And did you know that we have neat mugs and shirts too? The links to all of that will be below. And as always, thank you, come again.